Welcome to another episode of the Texonnect series. And with my initial podcast, or the initial podcast that we had, remember we talked about this Prop Tech conference that we had, which is basically property technology. And if you remember from season 1, we spoke to Chude of Venco Solutions and Vicky Sampa. So this is a conference that Vicky Sampa was behind, the ARCE conference. And I met this amazing gentleman. In fact, he caught my attention because I was on stage and he kept smiling and encouraging us as we continued to speak. I said, I need to meet this person. And he's amazing. He's the CEO of Sky Suites, Mohammed. In fact, you know what? I'm going to let him tell you more about himself, because not only is he Chief Executive Officer of this organization, and not only is he doing amazing things, but he's also an AI strategist. And I said, no, you know what? You have to come talk to us at Texonnect Voices. So welcome, Mohammed.
Thank you. I'm humbled to be here, and thank you for having me here. I didn't expect from the event directly next day will come, but I mean, we jumped on the opportunity, and honestly, the event was great. A lot of people that we met, so many amazing minds. It was great networking and beautiful event. Vicky did an amazing job. Thank you for organizing this whole event.
She sure did.
And we have a lot to discuss.
Absolutely. So let's get to know more about you. Let them know the things that they don't know about you.
All right. So where should we start? I've been raised in Ghana most of my life. Previously, maybe my people know from my family, they had Metro TV, and the family sold it off. And me myself,
so you're related to Talal?
Talal, yes.
Interesting.
I'm the nephew.
Interesting. Yes. Okay. Yes. I'm sure most of you remember Talal Fatal.
Yeah,
darling, forgive me and forget. You know his song.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're the next generation now. We are into real estate and AI, and it was very interesting times, to be honest. And I happened to come into this space by mistake, which I was discussing on the show yesterday. My father was in real estate and he had some apartments, and these agents would come to him. Oh, I'll rent it for you. And the apartments were just staying on the market. They were vacant for a long time. As an investor, maybe you've poured your sweat and so much of your life into these apartments. You need to generate some cash flow for the family to do so many things. So I personally had stayed in Airbnbs before, so I was like, let me try and experiment with this. Why don't we try and put some of these empty properties on Airbnb? So I visited the property at that time. The property was in very bad shape. It was not well maintained at that time. There were rats in the ceiling. The furniture was broken. The tiles were
cockroaches.
Bad. Cockroaches. It was like uninhabitable, if that's the word. So I decided, let me try and do some small renovations, fix it up, touch-ups. And so I went to this China mall, get some cheap wardrobe, some bed. It was just very basic, very basic. And I was like, let me experiment with this. Within a few days after we put up the furniture, basic photos with my phone, we put on Airbnb. Now, I was lucky because it happened to be December. At that time, I didn't know what's peak season and not peak season and stuff. It got fully booked out. So at that time, because I was talking about whole buildings, about 8 units, which were empty, to sudden now you have some apartments generating cash flow. It's like, damn, okay, so it seems like there is demand for this in Ghana. And that was the start, basically, of Sky Suites. And this was about 3-4 years ago. And thank God, by the grace of Allah, I mean, things, like they say, sometimes life just pushes you into places that you never planned for. I'm a civil engineer. I studied civil engineering. I never thought in my life I'll be doing this Airbnb stuff. It just happened by mistake and it took off. And since then, I was managing my father's apartments. I would take a percentage, like a management fee. And his friends started coming to me, other people who had properties. They were like, oh, I have property. I don't have time to manage it. Can you help us generate cash flow from these units? So I would start to take some units from here, manage it for people. Trust is very important in this business. And I started to learn more about it. I mean, there's a lot of online resources. There's a lot of Airbnb gurus out there. Learn from here, trial and error on the ground, what people like. People feedback is super important, because a guest would come, he'll be like, the AC is not working, I think you should do this, the way your staff is treating me is not good. I started to realize, okay, there's a lot of things which are important. Cleaning is super important. I need to make sure when a guest comes, the apartment is spotless, the linens are white. People prefer to have white linens because as soon as they come in, if it's white, they can know it's clean. Meanwhile, if you have something which is colored,
they can't tell whether it's clean or not.
Exactly, they can't tell. And a lot of guests who come from outside, maybe European countries or the US, even Ghanaians who live abroad, they're very attentive to cleaning and stuff. So maybe for some people, especially we men, maybe we can go into an apartment anyhow, we'll sleep. But some Europeans and this, they have very high attention to detail. And when you're renting in prime locations like Laboni, Osu Airport Residential, those are the most of the customer base. So cleaning, laundry, maintenance, you start to have a system and start to hire the quality. And demand, there was so much demand. And from there, we eventually scaled up to having 70 units that we manage across all these prime locations. And sometimes we would also do subleasing. I would approach some owners, maybe I see he has a hotel that is not working or an apartment building. I would approach them like, look, your apartment isn't doing well. You can generate much more cash flow. Let us help you manage it to get more income. And they would say, look, I don't want to get into this income, expenses, and you're paying too much for the maintenance. Why do you want to renovate this? Why do you want to spend so much? You'd be like, look, I'll rent it to you this amount and you do whatever you want. And whatever profit you make, you keep for you. So that's another business model that also exists in this. And if you study the numbers well, that can also be very profitable. So all this was happening before AI and ChatGPT and all this stuff came up. There was a lot of manual tasks. And of course, as the units, like you're increasing, like when you're managing, let's say 12 units, 20 units, you can use Google Sheets, Excel. It's fine. You can manually track those because there's a lot of things which are going on in this business. For the consumables, you're buying soap, you're buying shampoo, you're buying toilet roll, staff going in, out, Uber here, this generator, maintenance, fix. There's endless things. So you have to really keep track of everything. And we needed systems to be able to track that, especially as the units we're managing became more. So that's when we started to explore softwares that we can use to try and help us. Now the issue is most of these softwares, they're done for Western countries like the US, Dubai, and they work very well, but a lot of features, they might have features like, for example, Stripe integrated, it connects to your bank account. Here in Ghana, you can't connect to your EcoBank account or Access Bank account. And this automated payments and having everything digital. People here, maybe they want to pay cash, they want to pay Momo. Yeah, and what else do you have? And even cleaning there, they have like a GG for cleaners maybe. So it's like a lot of interesting software outside. It's called Terno. So basically there, if you have an Airbnb, you can just go to Terno and it will show you like a full list of, okay, this cleaner, she has maybe like 10-star rating. From 50 plus people, she's in the area, she charges maybe $30 per clean. And you can reserve her, she'll go there. Yeah, all that type of stuff. Meanwhile, in Ghana here, it's totally different way of operating. Yeah. So, that's like one thing. So what we also came to realize is there also needs to be softwares developed locally for local companies. And that's the phase that we're trying to do now. Right now, we're using this Western softwares. We use Hostaway to manage all let's say our listings because right now.
Okay, what's the word again?
It's called Hostaway.
Hostaway.
Hostaway. Okay. So Hostaway is a channel manager. Let's say you are managing Airbnbs, and the thing is, okay, I didn't discuss that. There's a lot to talk about, but I think it's important to mention. When we started this Airbnb thing, there was a big gap, let's say, between demand and supply. A lot more people have started to do Airbnb. So let's say from Corona time, which is 2020, 2021 to 2025, you have almost 2-3x increase of Airbnbs. So many more people have joined this Airbnb space because I'm sure maybe first reason is they have an apartment, it's empty, it's not generating income. Why not put it on Airbnb to generate some cash flow rather than waiting for this agent to bring me a long-term tenant and I'm not finding anyone? That's the first thing. Secondly, if Airbnb is done right, it can generate more than a long-term rental. But this one is difficult. Sometimes long-term rental does generate more. I have to be honest. So maybe a good strategy for a lot of people is rent it short-term till you find a long-term tenant. That way you can maximize your cash flow. So what do you do in an environment where there's becoming so many more Airbnbs? You have to look for other channels. If Airbnb is so many people are putting on Airbnb, you have to look at which channels people are not using much. That's when you can use Booking.com, Expedia. Try and look for companies around you who are looking for apartments. Maybe you have these NGOs, for example. There are many out there. Try and look around your Airbnb who might be in need of them. You have people bringing in volunteers, workers coming from abroad, people looking for clothing next to their homes next to their company. You can do some good deals with them. Just have the courage to reach out to them. Yes. So you're going to be talking across all these platforms. You need a centralized place to be messaging all of them. You might be getting maybe hundreds of messages a day. So you need to also message them from one place so that you're able to respond to them and make sure that you capture a lot of guests. They care about you answering fast. If he's asking for an apartment, do you have a 2-bedroom available? Do you have, for example, a baby cot? He needs an answer fast because he wants to book tomorrow. Exactly. If you don't book on time, he's going to
find somebody else. Yep, I know the frustration.
So time is critical. The faster you reply, the more you'll probably get booked. So these softwares help with all that, centralizing messaging, centralizing your calendar, centralizing your pricing, that you'll push across all the softwares, and then you can have all your data in one place to help you make better decisions. So where does AI come into all of this? Now that
sounds like you wanted to scale, you wanted to communicate more efficiently, you wanted to be more systematic, you wanted to be consistent across your platforms.
Yes, exactly, exactly. So now this is where AI comes to play. I mean, AI basically is like you having thousands or hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of mind able to think on one problem. You have it
multiple PAs.
Yes, exactly. And is able to go through data much faster than a human would and analyze that data and come up with some very interesting analysis. I mean, we've been seeing all this ChatGPT, Anthropic with Claude, Gemini. You have so many different companies coming up each day. You see one day ChatGPT does something, then Claude releases something even better.
DeepSeek comes over, then Grok connects with Twitter. And
yes. Me personally, I used to use ChatGPT a lot until I realized that, okay, some of these other softwares, in some areas, they're stronger than ChatGPT.
Absolutely.
Right now, I've been using Anthropic's Claude Opus a lot, which has very powerful insight. And there's some areas, what I would do
are those 3 softwares or one? Anthropic has created the Claude, which is... Claude, I know Claude.
Yes. Okay. So it's right under them.
And did you mention Opus as well?
Yeah, Opus is under Claude, which is under Anthropic.
Is it the same as Opus Clip or is it different? Because I have something called Opus Clip, and Opus Clip is what helps me to chop up my my videos when I take it and turn them into reels. Okay. And it does auto captioning under it. I see. Makes them go more viral. Yeah.
I see. I think that's something different.
Okay.
Something different. But Claude Opus is powerful. I mean, when it comes to coding, and I think something to do with analytics, it outperforms. And I've been trying it, me myself. I don't code, I don't have any experience in coding. It's something I always wanted to do, and I would love to learn. So you have these apps that's called Replit. I'm sure. Have you tried Replit before?
No, I haven't.
Replit, so is basically they've created where you can create your own app now. For someone who has no coding experience, maybe there's an app that you wanted to do, but here
I think I need to look for that.
Yeah,
because I used to code. I mean, my background is in computer science.
Python, C++, Java.
I used to code originally. It was C, then C++, then Java. I've been through all of them. Python. I've played a bit with it.
Awesome. That's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Coding is something. Right? We live in a digital world.
Yeah. But now with prompt engineering, you'll find. Once you know prompt engineering, you'll find. Yeah.
So I mean, Replit can create like.
Is it REPLITE?
Yeah, REPLIT.
Okay, IT.
Yeah.
Okay, Replit. Okay.
So I tried to do a lot of apps within Replit, but the problem is it will reach a point where it keeps on crashing, or you feel like sometimes it's not understanding your idea more until Cloud Opus. That one. So I felt like when I'm giving so I had like an app idea, which was what I was discussing earlier, to try and do let me say, it's like a channel manager to manage the Airbnbs, track all the data, income.
Wait, so let me get this straight. You're using Western software,
yes,
but you realize, no, we need something contextual.
Yes.
But instead of going for a vendor local, you decide, no, AI has come, let me try it myself.
Yes.
Interested.
Yes. And I'll get to why also that happens. First thing also why Western it's very pricey. We pay thousands of dollars every month on this software. So I mean that's a huge cost.
Yeah.
Secondly, I did meet with a couple of developers here, and there is some people trying to develop similar apps here, but it takes too long, and then time, and then cost. The people mention prices which are crazy, and then maybe they do an app. Just to change one small thing, it might take
want to charge you another
till
thing,
next day.
teach you another, and they're not consistent. Right, yeah.
Yeah, with AI, you just, I mean, like you were discussing about your music before.
Yeah, absolutely.
When you want to just change something, you just throw in your prompt.
Absolutely.
It's done.
Absolutely.
Same thing when you want to go, I want to just change this font, I want to do this, I want to add this feature. You have it within like seconds, minutes. So we're living very interesting times where it's so beautiful because right now, many people who don't have a tech background, maybe they're creative in whatever field it is, you can now basically put the ideas you had in your mind, into an app. And then from there, I mean, of course, it's going to reach a point.
You inspired me. I'm going to go try some things when I leave here.
Yeah, honestly, I think you would love it. You would love it. Especially you have a computer science background too. And music, and you will probably come up with some super app.
Yeah.
So, so right now what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make a software which works good for our business, which the Western softwares doesn't have, and I'm trying to use it within my company. It's still a work in progress, so we're like in prototype phase. Hopefully, if it does work out and we're able to figure out
all the kinks and everything,
we can maybe start to offer it to other companies.
So that's extra
around
service.
Here. Yes.
Nice.
Possibly with time, who knows?
Nice.
Nice. And
so from what I'm hearing, AI has helped you scale. AI is helping you with a possible new business opportunity.
True.
AI is allowing you the flexibility to design your own way, tailored to your own local market.
Yes, exactly. And since we're talking about the AI use cases within company, it has AI is now like a personal assistant to us. Any challenges maybe I'm facing in the work, I've gave it a knowledge base of the company, the way it operates, who's in the company, and I try and feed it as much data as I can to help me. So it comes up sometimes with SOPs for me. If I'm having a business decision which is hard, I might ask it, and usually it gives me better advice than humans would.
Interesting.
Still, sometimes you need that human touch, and you need AI. You can compare, and that's when. So we're experimenting, seeing how that goes, and obviously guest communication. Like we're saying, a lot of people are messaging now using this software that we use. It generates a response by itself. So if a guest messages, "Hello, I booked your apartment,"
and this is the software you created.
No, this is not the software I created. This is the softwares which are available
on the market. Okay.
Yes, so there's a lot of people who are developing AI softwares for Airbnb short-term rentals. So this is one of the beautiful use cases where the AI can see the tone of the customer. Is he angry? Is he happy?
Interesting.
Yes, and it has a knowledge base. Okay, he's booked your apartment in Airport or Laboni. These are the features it has. This is the Wi-Fi code. This is the DSTV. This is this. and it will help generate a response, which saves time. Because I mean, one challenge which we have in this business a lot is a guest would send a message and the delay for them to respond, and sometimes maybe the the receptionist is tired or they're not feeling good that day. Maybe I don't know what happened. They might respond in a way where the guest doesn't feel comfortable. He might, sometimes you might mean something in a message, but the other person might understand it wrong. Just maybe it might be even a wrong punctuation, a full stop. You might come out as angry. But in this business, we have to be very hospitable, friendly.
Of course.
So these little messages, they make a difference. AI can help us with that. So basically, we've augmented it. So the AI would suggest the response. The receptionist will look at it. He likes it. He just taps a button. It sends, or he can edit it.
Yeah.
So this saves us a lot of time, and it makes us have better messages. Yeah. And then, of course, pricing. Yeah. If you have so many units now in Ghana and Airbnb is becoming super competitive, some people might say even saturated. That's the reality. A lot of Airbnb people will just say, "Oh, do Airbnb. It's a great business." It was maybe like that 3-4 years ago. Now, if you want to come in, the entry level has become much higher because you have people doing an amazing job in Ghana. They have beautiful units, very professionally managed, super customer service. So these are your competitors, and that's another topic we can discuss maybe later on or at a different time. So Airbnb can help you price. If your competitor is pricing $50 a night, he might cut it down $45. Pricing is a huge
the AI automatically does that.
It automatically does that. So it's always scanning the market. What's your competitor pricing, the supply, what's the flights coming into Ghana? Is there an event? Maybe there's a huge funeral, or Kwame Despite is doing an event. The airport residential is fully booked out. This car museum, what it is. So people have booked raised the price. If no demand, I don't know what happens, economy is bad, it will drop the price also, so that you can maximize your income. So AI has a lot of benefits. Whichever industry you're in, there's multiple ways you can leverage it to your advantage. And I think that's important. Any business right now who is not leveraging AI, they will be falling behind. Businesses leveraging AI are going to move forward.
As an AI strategist, what are other areas that you've leveraged AI or you think people should leverage them?
It's an interesting question. I mean, when it comes to, I use it a lot on a personal level.
Okay.
I mean, in my from the experience, I've realized it's better to focus on one thing and try to be the best at it. Previously, anytime I tried to dabble in other businesses which I had no experience in, or it was not my field, and just splitting my attention, it did not work so well for me. And I feel in this age it's very important to specialize in something and be the best at it. So right now for me, I'm focused just on real estate, AI, how to bridge the two. And on a personal level, because in the end, managing a company is sometimes entrepreneur, people think that maybe they don't work as much, or like let's say if an employee works 80 hours a week. The reality is sometimes there's some entrepreneurs who might even work 100 hours, 120 hours. But the good thing about maybe being an entrepreneur is all that time, energy that you put into the business, in the end you are the one benefiting. It's not someone else. You're not working for a paycheck, or someone who, if you work extra, they're not going to appreciate it, or they're still going to ask you, why do you come late the next day, and stuff like that. So on a personal level, there's so many ways you can benefit from AI. Me personally, it's like they say, garbage in, garbage out. You need to give it a knowledge base. Let AI understand who you are. I'm sure maybe you do it. Plenty of people do it. Where you let AI understand, okay, this is who I am. This is some of the experiences I had. This is my short-term goal, mid-term goal, long-term goal. These are the values and principles I like. I'm a God-fearing man. I'm a Muslim. I like to take care of my health, let's say. I'm talking this for me personally. Each person has his own different way. So the more context you give it on who you are and what your goals are, it will be able to help you better do your decisions. So every time I keep on adding to it. Now the scary thing is, now they know everything about you.
Absolutely.
They already do know. They already know everything about you, unfortunately,
Yeah.
which is crazy. But since they know everything, might as well benefit from that. So I use it to help me plan my day. I use it to help me do workouts. I worked out in the gym earlier today. AI helped me do the workout, and I'm trying to track all the workout data that I have. What I worked out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I put it into a software, and it will help me analyze. Okay, you did these weights. These are the reps you did. This is the resting time. This is the next goals you should focus on. Same thing with nutrition. Same thing with sleep data. Right now, I'm trying to feed it as much data as I can. How many hours I'm sleeping, what I'm working out, what I'm eating, what I'm doing during the day. And that is when AI becomes powerful. Once it understands your system, it's like you have a personal assistant who understands your health, who understands what your day looks like, what your goals are, and you can. It's like you have a mentor, you have a doctor, you have everything.
It's like Tony Stark's. I've forgotten the name of the.
Iron Man.
No, not Iron Man. The software he talks to.
Okay.
The one that later became Ultron. I've forgotten the name, but yeah, he always advising him and telling him what to do, and yeah.
Well, so I mean, that's AI is there. You try and leverage it in any way that you can benefit from.
Yesterday, while doing your presentation, there was a lot of data that you shared, statistics and things like that. I think some of them were generated from AI.
Yeah, so the whole presentation was actually AI generated.
Okay, so tell us more.
I used an app called Gamma.
Okay.
And
Gamma, Gamma?
Yes, Gamma.
Okay.
It can do beautiful presentations, and I used initially ChatGPT and Claude to help me come up with the outlines. Now the problem is, although AI can help you generate a lot of data and pick from sources, what I realized is so much of the data was wrong, because AI would pick so much data from the internet, but as an operator on the ground, Airbnb, I realized so much of that information was actually wrong. So,
especially when it's about Africa.
Yes, and I don't know why. Maybe because there's not so much data collection here, or So like this app, let's say, told me from the data that there's 11,000 Airbnbs, and it gave me a full Excel sheet of all those Airbnbs, which is through one of the apps I'm using. So I was sifting through the data and
wait a minute.
I was going. I'll find Airbnbs which are like 2 years inactive, 3 years inactive, or like 0 reviews. That means no one has gone there. Maybe one is like a fraudster account. So I realized, like, okay, 11,000, how many of these are actually active?
Real, yeah.
After I had to like sift through them and like move out the ones which are like no reviews or fraud listings, I ended up having like 3,700, and even some of those I wasn't too sure. So we need data, but you need to also feed the AI data which is correct, because if you feed the data which is wrong, you will come up with the wrong analysis. And that's a difficult part, honestly. And I mean, although we would love to just let AI generate for us a PowerPoint and this, we've not reached that stage at the moment. You still need
continue to pump in that data.
Yes, exactly. So I mean, it helped me. It saved me a lot of time and effort, but I did spend, like, even after all that, maybe possibly 30-40 hours working on that presentation, which I would share with people, and hopefully some people can benefit from.
I'll get it from you so that I can.
Yes, so you'll be the first one to have access to and spread it to everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. There were some interesting data points that you had there in terms of the revenue that you're able to generate in Airbnb now, and the opportunities. You even talked about being able to analyze and see which units did better, and you talked about the fact that studios do even better than 3 bedrooms and 4 bedrooms. Can you touch a bit on that?
Yes. So right now, I mean, a lot of investors, they're thinking, where should I invest? Is studio 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom? And the reality is, in the market, most of the people who are traveling here who book, it tends to be people, either it's 1 person, maybe 2 person, couple. So the majority of bookings do want studios and 1 bedrooms. 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, they get more booked out in months like Easter or Christmas. Those are when
family.
Yes, those are when those units can perform better. But throughout the year, studios performs better. So I mean, let's say right now, if you want to purchase a studio in Ghana, location is very important. I'll repeat that a lot. From the data we have, you can have a beautiful unit in Tema, or I don't know which other areas. No matter how beautiful it is, big it is, a small studio in maybe cantonments, airport residential will generate more than that just because of location.
Location, absolutely.
People are not willing to travel maybe to Tema all the way to book that Airbnb. Maybe it has a different type of targeted audience, companies working at the harbor port. So what we did realize is, if you're looking to buy a property as an investment and put it on Airbnb, studios would be the better option. Maybe for the price of 2 bedrooms now, these new people coming up with properties, developers, they're selling it maybe $250,000, $300,000, which are outrageous. Prices are crazy in the market here. I would say that you can rather buy 3-4 studios and they would generate for you much more money.
Revenue.
Yes, same thing. Studios and 1 bedroom, although a 1 bedroom is like 50% more expensive, the 1 bedroom doesn't generate much more revenue percentage wise. Yeah, so I would recommend anyone who does want to invest in properties in Ghana for Airbnb studios. But the thing also is this, it's all about supply and demand. Maybe now if a lot of people start buying studios and investing in it, it's also going to become saturated.
Sure.
Or more hotels coming up, then 2 bedrooms might start to perform. So I mean, no financial advice, the market is always changing. But based on the current data, that's what I would say. In Dubai, for example, we also do manage some properties in Dubai. In Dubai, for example, studios is not so much of a good investment. The reason is because there's so many hotels in Dubai. So if you're investing in a studio for Airbnb, you're competing with the hotels. And there's so many hotels and so many people have studios. So in Dubai, let's say 2 bedrooms are better or 3 bedroom. So it's something.
I see what you mean.
Yes.
I see what you mean. So the market, the culture, all that comes into play.
Yes.
Interesting. Do you have any last words for people who are either in the real estate market or just generally anybody when it comes to, 1, getting into real estate, and 2, using the right tools, artificial intelligence, to ensure success, and where you see the future going?
So I would say do your research. Don't rush into any deal. I mean, right now to make money, you need to make sure you invest it in the right places. Talk to the right people before you invest. If you're buying it from a developer, make sure the developer is reputable. We saw what happened with people who purchased, and I think Sukasa, they purchased units and the developer ran. I don't know what happened exactly. Wow. So if you are buying, make sure you buy it from a good developer. Why you want to buy it? Is it for investment purposes or your family? And if you do plan on doing it Airbnb, you need to be aware of what the market is, so that it's a big investment you're doing. You need to make sure you furnish it right, you photograph it right, you have the right amenities, the right location. Once you put all these things into place, you can make sure that, okay, this unit will perform well. And in case you don't have the time to manage it, or the experience to do it, or the expertise, you can always feel free to reach out to us. We would happily help, or maybe even manage your unit. If you don't have time to do it, we would love to assist. And where the market is headed to, honestly, things are changing so fast these days. Every day is different, every month is different. I mean, we saw the Ghana CD went from 16 to 12. Maybe this might bring in more.
It's 10 point something.
10 point something also. Yeah, the difference between Forex Bureau rates and the black market rate. Even today, they're saying it's 12.6 to buy dollar. But when you tell them, I want to buy it, they will be like, I don't have. So I don't know, is this a sign it's going to go back up or not? I can't tell. So the future is there's a lot of uncertainty. What I can say is just... whatever you're doing, just try and be the best at it. Try and we live in a world where now everyone has access to information and access to technology. Just try and be the best at one thing and focus all in on that. And have faith in God. Be good to people. Be good with your family, and inshallah, you'll be fine. You'll do all right.
Absolutely, absolutely. Be good to people, and follow Texonnect voices. Learn more from the people we bring on board, and let's all share. Good job. Thank you so much, Mohammed.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you for
having
your
me.
time.
I appreciate it.
I appreciate it too.
It's an honor to be here.
Definitely. Thank you.